sama ada secara langsung ataupun secara tidak langsung, meaning that it's involved in decomposition process, or directly it can change the forms of the inorganic end ataupun organic end tadi. Okay, so a part of that is soil microbiology, okay, which is the most important most important element that makes the soil alive. Okay, boleh menyebabkan soil tu ada kehidupan di dalamnya. Okay, so it start with that. So it is a branch of science that dealing with study of soils, microorganisms and their activities in the soils, which also involve their functions and how they actually affect the soil properties. Okay, it can vary from a very small fractions of soil mass, okay, which is the volumes of soil less than 1% in the upper layer of soils, okay, which is up to that ketebalan, okay, the microbial population is very high, and as it goes deep into the soils, the populations ataupun the amount of bacteria are decreased. Okay. Alamak, tekan. Okay. So there is a various functions of soil microbe actually. Kalau you nampak tadi saya dah terangkan how it actually involved in decomposition process, meaning that it breaks down organic matter. Okay. Number 2 is it involved in nutrients cycle, okay, which the functions is that it do the mineralization process. Okay, changing mineralizations adalah proses changing of organic element into inorganic form, which is kita nampak tadi dalam nitrogen, dalam sulfur and dalam phosphorus. Okay, so soil microbes, it helps to create humus. Okay, humus is very important because humus can retain moisture. Humus ni organic matter lah tapi decomposed one. It's encourage formations of soil structure sebab macam saya cakap dia ni bila humus ni dia ada organic acid, dia ada compound yang dia act as a glue, dia macam gum, dia tolong lekatkan tanah tu. So it form a structure. Soil structure is needed and kan penting supaya it determines the water, the air content of the soils. Okay, it also involved in CEC. Macam saya cakap, organic matter has higher CEC. Okay, so soil microbes is actually it creates soil structure. Okay, because it secrete polysaccharides, its gums and glycoproteins which glue the soil minerals together. Okay, maksudnya secrets daripada microbes ni tadi dia macam gum, dia tolong lekat-lekatkan tanah tu dan dia menghasilkan struktur tanah yang baik. Then soil microbes fix nitrogen. Soil organisms is actually it helps to promote the growth, plant growth. Okay, including it secretes a variety of substances such as oxygen, gibberellins and antibiotics. Okay, but and also soil microbes also can, macam saya cakap tadi semua sambil tu saya cerita kan, because it control pest and disease because of setiap kita ada microbes yang boleh jadi agent pembasmi, biocontrol agents. Okay, maksudnya dia boleh makan the pathogenic pest ataupun bakteria ke organisms. Ada bakteria baik, ada bakteria jahat. Okay, so we can make use of the beneficial bacteria to control the disease. Okay, so what is the types of microorganisms that involves? Okay, we divide that into sizes, which we have. Yang ni kita tengok kan, kita ada large, kita ada mid-size, meso and also micro. But when we talk about microorganisms, that is the small one. Okay, so some of the organisms that are important is the bacteria, actinomycete, fungi, algae and also protozoa. So each of these microorganisms plays different roles. Okay, let us have a look on each of the microorganisms. So bacteria is the most tiniest one. Okay, it has one cell, which is it is a single cell divisions. Okay, in lab, one types of bacteria can produce one cell of bacteria can produce 5 billion of dia punya anak beranak in 12 hours. Okay, for example, we have prokaryote. Okay, so usually bacteria is the most abundant in rhizosphere. Okay, the zone surrounding the root, which we call as rhizosphere zone. Okay, so paling banyak dekat sini sebab root ni dia keluarkan exudates such as carbohydrates semua tu, dan dia attract the bacteria nak duduk dekat dia. Bakteria ni bila dia duduk dekat dalam tanah, dia perlukan makanan. Okay, so makanan ni is in the forms of carbon, carbohydrates, protein, semua benda tu lah dia nak. Jadi selalunya yang active zone ni dekat dalam tanah ni, active zone ni kalau tanah you biasa tak ada pokok, dia memang takkan tak ada bakteria because the bacteria don't have food. At least it has to have the organic matter as their food. Tapi in active zone, which is dekat root zone, kita panggil rhizosphere area, itu adalah kawasan yang sangat aktif because dia ada dead root cells, dia ada exudates, okay, such as carbohydrates, exudates that can stimulate the growth of the microbial bacteria. Okay, sekejap Set. Okay. Okay, so yang paling aktif yang ni adalah kena ada. That's why kalau kita ada roots, at least we have grass ataupun cover crops, it will stimulate the growth of the microbes. Okay. So for functional groups of bacteria, when we talk about bacteria, kita ada decomposers. Okay, maksudnya bakteria yang melakukan proses decompositions. Then we have mutualists. Okay, so setiap bakteria ni berbeza-beza. Dia bukan satu bakteria melakukan berbagai-bagai jenis tak. Yeah, mutualist is, for example, kita ada rhizobacteria tadi kan. Dia helps the plant, okay, to capture the nitrogen. Then we have pathogenic bacteria. Okay, so pathogenic bacteria dia menyebabkan penyakit-penyakit lah. These are some example. Cause plant galls ni salah satu example sahaja. And what we call as kita ada chemoautotroph bacteria. So these are bacteria that obtain the energy through oxidations of inorganic chemicals compound, which is opposed to the photosynthesis. Okay. Okay, so we have a few types of chemoautotroph bacteria. These are some examples. We have nitrifying bacteria, sulfur bacteria, iron bacteria. Okay, then we have Nitrosomonas dactylobacter under the nitrifying bacteria. Okay, so these are the mutualistic bacteria tadi, which they helps to capture the nitrogens by infecting the roots of the legumes ataupun dia creates the root nodules. Ni examples dia. Okay, tu that are few types of bacteria. Then kita pergi surface je sebab later you akan belajar ni dalam plant protection. Okay, so another one is that actinomycetes. So actinomycetes are actinomycete adalah a group of bacteria that grows as hyphae like fungi. Macam saya cakap yang kalau you pergi dalam hutan, dia macam bau-bau tanah tu kan. It gives a earthy smell, earthy smells, okay. Dia macam kulat, macam fungus tapi dia bukan fungus, okay kan. So it have their own roles in soil. Okay, so actually it's aerobic heterotrophs. Okay, so it is similar to bacteria, sensitive to antibacterials. Okay, so sensitive to pesticide. So it resembles bacteria in size, shapes and gram staining properties. Dia sama macam bacteria tapi it's not bacteria. Okay, but it's also similar to fungi sebab dia punya appearance are most likely like fungi, and it can reproduce. It has reproduction mechanisms. Okay, so actinomycetes in soils are also banyak. Okay, so it's a slow growing compared to the bacteria and fungi. Okay, so Saccharomyces may be up to 65% of the soil populations. Okay, these are some types of the actinomycetes. Kita ada Streptomyces, kita ada Micromonospora nocardia, Septrosporangium, Actinoplanes, Thermoactinomyces, Thermomonosporades are some examples. Maksudnya dalam actinomyces sendiri kita ada macam-macam jenis. Okay. So, but the general rules of actinomycetes in soil, of course, it helps in digesting ataupun decompose yang bahan-bahan yang susah nak decompose. Selalunya bila decomposition process ni, dia dilakukan oleh bakteria at the early stage. Tapi bakteria ni dia tak dapat nak digest benda-benda yang keras. Contohnya hemicellulose, lignin, the cell wall of the plant, the cell wall of the roots, tak boleh. So that's comes the actinomycetes punya peranan, which dia akan helps to the second stage of composting this compound. Okay, then it also involves in antibiotic productions. Okay, macam saya cakap dulu, actinomycetes ni dia untuk hasilkan bakteria, you akan isolate dia daripada soil. Okay, so selalunya kawasan tu bukanlah kawasan macam dekat taman rumah kita ni kan. It have to be isolated juga dekat Antarctica, somewhere that you can found a new one. Okay, so maintain microbial equilibrium. That's why we cannot macam apa panggil musnahkan hutan ataupun tanah-tanah kita sebab sometimes might be we can found beneficial one. Okay, sekejap. Okay, and the third one is we have fungi. Okay, so fungi is the most abundant after bacteria. Okay, so fungi ni dia macam-macam bentuk. Dia ada yang you boleh nampak fruiting body, tapi ada yang you boleh nampak dia punya mycelium je, macam hyphae tu kan. Okay. Just put on picture. Sorry, that was. Okay, the most abundant sorry, saya ada meeting lah. Sekejap lagi. Okay, it often group into masses which is called mycelium. Okay, so this is general information microorganism je saya nak you tahu sebab in details you akan belajar tentang bila you belajar kat plant protection nanti tahun depan, sem depan, you akan belajar tentang macam mana dia membiak, which is jenis-jenis dia, spesies dia yang pathogenik, case study, you will know. Okay, so these are types of fungi. Okay, so fungi ni sama juga, dia break down to organic matter. Dia break down organic matter ni adalah bukan yang level bacteria, but higher level juga, which they involve in decompositions of lignin, cell wall, macam tu. Okay, so it can live in low pH of soil. Okay, so it can attack organic residue. Okay, it can feed by absorbing nutrient. Dia boleh macam a beneficial one, dia boleh macam ni tolong pokok untuk serap nutrien dan air. Contohnya kita ada trichoderma. Okey, trichoderma ni dia duduk di hujung-hujung akar dan dia besarkan akar tu. Sekejap tunjuk. Tak gambar, tak ada. Dia boleh jadi pathogenic and also yang baik, beneficial. Trichoderma. Tak ada pula. Trichoderman. Okay, kalau you tengok trichoderma ni dia punya action macam mana tau. Kat sini dia tak nampak tapi sebenarnya macam mana saya nak tunjuk Trichoderma. Tak adalah gambar ni. Dia macam dia akan duduk nampak ni Comparison ni, trichoderma adalah sejenis fungus. Yang ni maksudnya bila dia duduk dekat akar pokok ni tak nampak kat sini, tapi dia enhance the growth of the roots. Sebab trichoderma ni fungus ni dia telap air tau. Dia tolong serap air, dia tolong serap nutrien. Sambil dia serap untuk badan dia, they actually are providing also to the crops. Dia macam ada symbiotic punya action lah antara they both. Dia berdua. Akar dan juga si trichoderma ni tadi. Okay, so most of it are aerobic and heterotrophs, okay, and also chemosynthetic, which dissolve nutrients for energy. Okay, so then we have in soils also we have algae. Okay, so algae can mix their own nutrients food ataupun through a process known as photosynthesis, because from the color you can see that it has a green color. Okay, so it is distributed evenly wherever sunlight and moderate moisture is available. So it is also microorganisms that is important to the soils. Okay, it do not have to be on the soil surface or directly exposed to the sun rays, because it needs moisture. Dia perlukan moisture tinggi and it can live below the surface as long as the algae has uniform temperature and moisture conditions. Okay, so algae ni for example, a blue-green algae groups, okay, so dia boleh helps in supplying the soil with nutrients. Okay, so it contains high nitrogen, so it also some of types of the algae can fix the nitrogen. Macam mana dia contribute nitrogen adalah dia kan warna hijau, so bila dia decompose dia akan duduk dalam tanah kan, and dia akan pulangkan balik nitrogen tu dalam tanah daripada badan dia, the structure of their bodies. Okay, so algae in soil fertility and land reclamations. Okay, for examples there are the species of algae, different species of algae, because dia kan ada banyak, so that it can have different functions on the soil. Okay, for examples, we have nostoc, yang selalunya anabena, which it shows the adaptability to moist soil surface, meaning that they conserve the moisture in the soils, and also it can fix nitrogen from the air. Okay, and it can increase the soil fertility. Okay, so it also can help to prevent erosion. Kalau you nampak dekat kawasan-kawasan tanah tinggi macam tepi highway ada lumut-lumut, actually it plays function which it can akar dia boleh contribute, bukan akar, dia punya compound tu boleh contribute to macam gums which enhance the formations of the soil structure, and also it can prevent soil erosion by binding the soil particles firmly. So jangan buang lah lumut-lumut yang berada dekat macam lereng-lereng bukit tu kan. Okay, then we have a protozoa. Okay, so protozoa is a unicellular, larger than bacteria. Okay, so examples we have amoeba, ciliates, flagellates. Then we have protozoa is usually a heterotrophic bacteria, which it can eat the bacteria. So bacteria have more nitrogens than protozoa need, so protozoa can release the excess mineralize. Okay, excess the minerals. Sorry. Okay, bila dia digest the bacteria, dia kan secrete, that is from the secretions ataupun compounds that they released. Okay, so it can also form a symbiotic relationships. Okay, for examples, flagellates in termite guts and digest fibers. Okay, so these are some examples of the functions of the protozoa, which it also require water. Dia tak boleh dalam dry condition, so not dalam keadaan yang, that's why you have to maintain a good adequate of aerations and moisture to the soil, so that the variability of the organisms will enhanced. Okay, so protozoa play important roles in the structure of the soil food web. Okay, so protozoa eat the bacteria and release nitrogen and other nutrients in their waste. So since protozoa are concentrated near plant roots, the plant can benefit from this supply. Dia mati ataupun dia secretes compound and roots boleh ambil. Okay, so that's why microorganisms it can have functions directly or indirectly. Okay. So soil microbes and soil structure is macam you nampak tadi, each of that dia punya importance macam apa tadi, algae berbeza how it stabilize the soil aggregations. Okay, so soil organisms actually play important roles in aggregations. Okay, either directly ataupun dia menghasilkan dia decompose organic matter, ataupun dia synthesis polysaccharide, lignins and compounds that acts as a cementing agent to the soil particle. Dia macam gum, dia tolong lekat-lekatkan tanah tu. And also bila dia mati pun, okay, so the cells and mycelia can act as a compound that contributes to the soil aggregation. Okay, so these are some examples of soil. Kalau you nampak dekat sebelah kiri kan, gambar tanah tu dia macam compacted. Okay, yang kat sebelah kanan dia treated. Okay, maksudnya you ada letak compost, you ada letak a good soil aeration, it has a good soil aeration, good soil structure. Okay, nampak the roots explore very well in the treated samples. Okay, nampak kat gambar bawah ni dia ada root nodules. Even the soils are tak nampak padat. Okay. So soil microbes also plays an important role in plant growth. Okay, tadi untuk soil. Okay, so actually soil microbes can help to change nutrients that can be absorbed to the plants, and also the microbes produce substances like IAA, gibberellins and antibiotics which direct or indirectly promote the plant growth. Okay, so with another functions of organisms to the plant is, of course lah, tadi macam saya cakap, a lot of bacteria and organisms that algae that can change, that can fix the nitrogen, kan? Okay, and even itu naturally, not naturally pun ada, kita ada formulate baja yang kita ada azobacter dalam dia, which this bacteria kita supply dekat dalam, sekali dengan baja tu dalam bentuk solution, which sebab kita nak promote the growth of the microbes. Kadang-kadang tanah tu lambat lah kan, so how we want to enhance adalah kita formulatekan baja yang sekali ada makanan bakteria ni semua, that it can live and grow inside the soil. Ni microorganism yang contohnya trichoderma saya tunjuk tadi, kalau you nampak kan, dia ni cell wall dan mycelia dia ni dia macam merayap-rayap dekat akar pokok tu dan sambil tu dia menyerap air dan juga nutrient. Dia helps to helps to absorb the nutrients and water. Okay, so besides that also it involves in nutrient. This is nutrient yang cycle tadi lah. Setiap cycle dia ada carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycles, involve the microorganisms. Okay, so ini yang sama macam tadi. These are some examples for you to have a look back on it, which I have explained just now. Ini lebih kepada gambar lah. Okay, the cyanobacteria. Okay, so directly and indirectly dia helps. Indirectly sama ada dia mati dan dia decompose dalam tanah and dia punya nutrient dalam badan tu dikembalikan balik kepada tanah. Ni sama juga cycle macam tadi. Okay, last one. Some microorganisms also can be as a biocontrol agents. Macam saya cakap trichoderma tadi, that is trichoderma. Are used for biological control of seed and soil-borne disease. Okay, jadi this fungus ni dia akan tolong melawan jangkitan-jangkitan penyakit. Okay, so dia can be a biocontrol agents. Okay, so bakteria pun boleh. Dia trichoderma ni dia macam fungus. Bacteria like Bacillus, Pseudomonas are used in cotton against angular leaf spots and bollworms. Okay, which dia attack balik binatang tu and binatang tu matilah sebab it's attacked by the bacteria ataupun that fungus. Okay, so tapi sekarang ni kalau you nampak, okay, so bukan semua jenis tanah ada bakteria yang bagus, especially in nowadays. Dalam keadaan climate change, dalam keadaan soil degradation, erosion akan menjejaskan bilangan ataupun jumlah microbes dalam tanah ni tadi. Okay, so these are the challenges, how we want to maintain the microorganisms. As you know, dia nak ada cukup moisture, dia nak cukup food, they are very sensitive to chemical pollution, sensitive to pesticide. Okay, so the idea what you have to think here adalah macam mana to maintain a good quality of soils that it will enhance the growth of the microbes. Something to think. Okay, because sambil kita masa makin berjalan, actually the soils are actually degraded. The climate are actually changing into something that is worse. Okay, so how we want to sustain this? Okay, so I think we are at the end of our session. Cukup 2 jam. Okay, so saya nak semua faham? Any question? Nurin faham, Nurin?
Faham.
Simple je kan? Nak Wan Nur Nasrin, okay?
Okey, doktor.
Alia ada ke?
Okey, doktor.
Main sebut je Alia. Okay, Farisha okay, Iklimah,
Okey.
Husna, Maisara.
Okey.
Okay. So lastly, I would like to remind, because we are at the end of our semester, we are in the 12th week now, so we have another 2 weeks. Please make sure you finish all your assignments and lab report on time. Ada lagi dalam dua. Satu assignment, satu field trip report belum hantar. I tak ingat. Okay, so please make sure you meet the deadline. And for those who have not yet submitted, please do so by this Friday. Contoh petang ni pukul 2 sampai pukul 5, that is my time. Tapi tak ada kelas. No reason for you to give me excuse yang you tak ada masa buat. Because saya rasa setiap kali masa saya waktu lab semua, saya tak buat lab. Okay. So that is the time for you to do the lab, to study about the lab. If you have any questions or regarding your lab report you can always feel free to contact me. Okay, so siapa yang tak contact saya assume you faham. Ada yang ramai yang contact. Even I explain to him or her that by phone calls or messages, I explain balik so that you understand. I am free to be contacted anytime. Okay, So terima kasih and thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih doktor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you doktor.
Terima kasih,
Doktor.
Doktor.